Welcome to Éire. My name is Ben. It's a lovely wintry day here in Ireland, and the bike we're going to be taking a look at today is the Honda N1100. What's nice about this bike is it shares a lot of components from its brother, the Africa Twin. So when we have a good look at the bike, there might be some components that you've seen before on the Honda Africa Twin. Also, I did a video recently of the review. Consider the link in the top right, but watch this video first and you can watch the video afterwards. So let's get a closer look at this lovely sport tourer. Let's have a look at some of the standard specification on the N1100. First of all, we're going to start off with 17-inch wheels on the front and back. Excellent braking system, 310mm disc brakes on the front, dual, single 256 at the rear. You've then got heated hand grips as standard. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and your full Bluetooth connectivity there as well. LED headlamps on the front with daytime runners. Likewise at the back, you've got an LED light cluster at the back. Your indicators self-cancel, and there's emergency flickers at the back. Very nice as part of the standard equipment. A 1084cc, just over 100 horsepower parallel twin engine, and it also develops just over 100 newton meters of torque, mated with a 6-speed manual transmission. You can add a Honda quick shifter to that. It is available from a parts accessories. Different ride modes as well. You've got selectable ride modes, and of course there's 2 customizable modes as well. So the standard, that's just some of the features. In case I've missed anything, I'll put them in the description box. But the bike comes very well equipped standard. First thing we're going to take a look at on the N1100 is of course the braking performance. The braking performance is exceptional on this bike. You've got 310mm disc brakes, dual discs as well, so you'd be expecting that excellent braking performance like you'd expect with any sport bike. The Showa forks are 43mm. That'll give you roughly about 150mm of suspension travel, and likewise on the back as well, you've also got 150mm of suspension travel. 17-inch wheels complement the front and the back, and obviously it's ABS as well. Likewise with any new bike these days, they come fully equipped with LED headlamps. The LED structure on the N1100 is broken up into 3 areas. So at the top you've got your normal dim beam, and then you've got your daytime running lights running over there through the middle, and then of course you've got your brights running along the bottom. There's no cornering lights on this specifically on the bike, but it has got exceptional LED lighting capacity, so you can expect really good lighting at night. This might appear a little dark because we put the sun behind us there. At the back you've got LED indicators, likewise with the front, and you've got the LED braking light assembly and also tail light assembly all in one unit. Another thing to note in relation to the windshield is very large, as we can see, and it also has these fins on the side. It is adjustable, which is great. So obviously you can reduce the wind disruption on yourself as you are riding, so that is a big plus. We're going to be taking a look at the seat height. So 820mm. It's something that you tend to have a lower seat height with all the sport tourers because obviously they're lower to the ground. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with this. I am 5'11", so comfort level is probably going to be pretty good, but let's test it out. Yep, that feels very comfortable. My feet are flat on the ground, no issue whatsoever. Comfort level feels good. Have a look and put my feet up here. Wow, this is very comfortable. As you can see, my knee height over here in relation to where the foot pegs are, my ride height, and of course the adjustable windshield. Seat feels very comfortable. There is an option to get like a gel seat as well if you want to go for that, but I think the seat should be quite fine. Right, we're going to take a look at the main feature on the sport touring bike, and that's the engine. Now the engine carries over from the Africa Twin, as we know that. Like I said, I'll leave a video, there'll be a link to that video in the top right hand corner. Once you finish watching this one, you can watch that one. The engine is a parallel twin. It's a liquid cooled 8 valve per cylinder. Develops 75 kilowatt, that's just over 100 brake horsepower. I'll put the RPM on screen for you, and then followed by a great torque rating of 104 Newton meters, which I think is superb. Nice and strong pulling power. And again, I'll put the RPM on the screen for you as well. For fuel consumption, you're looking at about 5 litres per 100. That's about 20 kilometers per litre. The fuel tank size, just over 20 litres. So again, a good tank capacity. So expect good fuel consumption on something like this. The curb weight expected in is about 238 kilograms, which I think isn't bad, considering some adventure bikes are approaching the 250 kilogram mark. Another thing to note, this is the manual transmission. Quick shifter is an option on these, so it's 6-speed manual. I would recommend that you consider going for the quick shifter as well, and of course there is a DCT option as well. The weight goes up by about 10 kilos, so something to take into consideration, and I suspect your fuel consumption will probably go up as well. Right, let's get the engine started. Obviously we need a key. The key's in there. We're going to turn it on. Everything will light up on the dash, of course. Ignition switch button is located here. Nice stock exhaust sound. Right, let's talk pricing and of course the luggage setup on the bike. Pricing is at 16,600 will give you the manual transmission version, and 17,600 will give you the DCT version. Those are prices currently for Ireland, so if you're a viewer from outside of Ireland, check with your local Honda dealer in relation to prices and standard specification. Luggage setup on the N1100, it comes with side cases. One is 32 litres and another is 33 litres, which is interesting. I suspect maybe that could be because of the exhaust setup and they need to make it slightly smaller. So I suspect that is probably the difference. However, 2 large cases at 30 litre plus I think is pretty good. So it will give you sufficient luggage space when you're doing your touring. You can obviously go with a top case option. There's nothing better than to have a place to put your helmet. So that's something to consider. It doesn't come standard with one, but obviously you can have a look at the Honda accessories in relation to getting a top case. Right, let's take a look at the handlebar setup and of course the TFT screen. The bike now this might look a bit overpowering in relation to the buttons and stuff like that, but it is pretty straightforward. If you've checked out my Honda Africa Twin video, you'll notice this carries over from the Honda Africa Twin. So we're going to have a look at the controls here. You'll see the star button here, that is your favorites. And then of course you've got your return keys, and then if you're listening to music, you can stream music to your Bluetooth headset, which is obviously optional. Then the up and down keys will select your different ride modes. So what we have here is urban, we've got tour, we've got rain, and of course there's user 1 settings and user 2 settings that you can select. You obviously got your hooter, indicators, emergency buttons there, and then of course you've got your lights as well here. They are initially set on at auto, so they'll come on if it gets darker. Then you've got function button on this side, and then that activates the bar running across the middle screen here. And that's your brightness, your heater grips, which I could really do with right now, being that it's very, very cold. Your automatic lighting system. So the controls are very easy, very accessible. You'll notice that when you are riding, it is, you know, it's ergonomically designed like any other bike. Okay, just another overview on the TFT display then. So we've got our button selections, and I mentioned the different ride modes that you can check. And then of course you've got your trip A, trip B, when you want to access that. And then of course you've got your functionality, and of course you can increase the volume as well. So if you've got a Bluetooth headset, then obviously you can do that. Your functionality, like I mentioned, the button on this side here, that'll go through your automatic headlights, and of course your heated grips, electric starter. The screen pretty much displays it all. The little Bluetooth symbol is there as well. Current temperature, it says it's 11, it feels much colder than that. And then the bottom screen here is that'll tell you what gear you're in. You've got your digital RPM and your digital speedo, and then of course you've got your kilometers per hour in digital and your total kilometers traveled. And then these will be your lights on buttons, so if there's anything that might appear on initially on startup, you'll probably see it there. So the screen, very straightforward. Okay, let's look at the electronics package. First of all, you've got selectable torque control, and that's all done via the main screen. Wheelie control is another one. You've got the self-cancelling LED indicators as well, which is another plus point. I quite like that. Sometimes you do forget, and then you realise that you've had the indicator on for 5 kilometres. You've got the LED lights front and back as well, which will prove useful. And the vehicle comes with emergency flickers as well. So if you do apply the brake suddenly, it'll activate the emergency flickers on the rear, which I think is pretty much standard now in most cars, as well as good to see it in a motorcycle. Right, competitors. The BMW S1000 XR is one of them. First of all, substantially more on price though, over 20,000 starting price. A huge list of extras. Not much comes standard. Obviously you'll have the standard package with it, but if you wish to individualize and add extras onto it, it's going to cost you. What you can expect though is a massive increase in performance. Obviously BMW's build quality, again, very, very good. But obviously for you to add extras and side cases and get the bike up to touring spec, I'd say you'd be spending a few thousand above that quite easily. So it's a matter of just justifying, do you need that extra power, or are you quite happy with what the N1100 offers you in relation to its standard package? Well, the other competitor is the Tracer 9 GT. Comes in at 15,650, so exceptionally well priced in relation to the Honda N1100 here. What you can expect from the Yamaha, exceptional build quality. I did a video of the GT9 Plus, so be sure to have a look at that. I'll put a link in the top right after you've watched this video and see which bike you would prefer. Exceptionally well built, very well spec'd. Everything that you'd expect from a motorcycle is in there, from LED headlamps, exceptional braking on both bikes. Standard equipment levels are superior in relation to the TFT displays, your different ride modes, your suspension systems, comfort level. It's a really good bike, the Yamaha. I mean, I can't really fault it, and hopefully the 9 GT Plus video will give you a good idea on that. So I'd say that is the closest competitor to the Honda N1100, and of course it'd be up to you. I'd say go check both of those bikes out in relation to it to do a fair comparison. Right, my final thoughts on the bike. Well, I tell you what, I just love the build quality. Honda's bikes these days are just getting better and better, and you can see by the way the styling, their design, you know, they're really, the thought process, iteration, how they design their bikes, how everything is put together is just exceptional. From anything from the, you know, you've got that front mudguard there, to the way the cases are with this kind of half paintwork as well on there, lovely. The plastics that they use are exceptional. The bike itself, very well equipped for everybody's needs. It has cruise control, and there's a lot of people there that want bikes that have cruise control. Cruise control is becoming a more standard feature these days, and it's great to see that. You've got the ride modes. I mentioned the torque control as well, adjustments on it. The bike comes fairly well equipped from electronics standpoint, and it carries over from the Honda Africa Twin. You can see things from the Honda Africa Twin that they've integrated into the N1100. So be sure that if you are looking for one of these bikes, go check out your Honda dealer. If a sport touring bike is something you want, definitely have a look at the N1100. It's got a good engine. I look forward to test riding this bike later in the year as well, so there'll be a separate video available for that. But I'm really looking forward to getting the feel of this wonderful machine. I just want to thank Tig and his team here at Morans Bike Shop. So if you're considering a new Honda, be sure to contact Tig and his team here at Morans Bike Shop. That's it for the video. I hope I provided you with enough information about the N1100 Honda. If there's anything I've missed, I'll be sure to put it in the description. And if there's any comments, I look forward to your comments down below. If there's any questions you may currently have, if you let me know if you have an N1100 or you're considering to buy one, why you're considering to buy one in relation to other competitors. And don't forget to hit the like video. And of course, if you're enjoying these videos, hit the subscribe button as well. But this is Ben at Éire finishing off. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.